Good afternoon to everybody. Welcome to
Good
today's
afternoon.
the Jayanti of the Dr. B.R. Ambedkar Jayanti. This is the 130th Jayanti, 130, and now we would like to
Good
share
afternoon,
our
sir.
views. Yes, good afternoon. Good afternoon. Welcome to the today Jayanti's meeting, and it is me, the Professor Muhammad Saib Hussain, the voluntary professor of law, and joining with somebody else, my student, ex-students, and he's also with me that we are going to make it out. And before I could start the thing, let me play the national anthem. So let us stand, then we'll play the national anthem now. So
Okay,
let
sir.
us see that, yeah, yes, I'm playing now the national anthem. Yes, now on, then I say on, yeah. Jaya
Ganamanagadinata Jaya He Bhatataram Punjab Sindhu Gujarat Maratha Dravida Utkala Vanga Vindhya Himachala Yamuna Ganga Uchala Jaladi Taranga तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय है जय है जय है जय 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 हिंद.
Jai Hind. Now that again coming back to my point of it, that yes, that I would like to share my feelings as well as my thoughts on the occasion of the Dr. B.R. Ambedkar Jayanti. That is 130th. Before I could start it, I would like to give the chance to the ex-student Sharat. Okay, Sharat, introduce yourself and you can express your views. Yes.
Yes, good afternoon, everybody.
Good
And
afternoon.
I want to, my best wishes to the people of India on the occasion of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar's
If you want to,
birthday.
you can on your video also. You could be seen if you are interested.
Okay, sir.
Yes, yes. Now it could be visible. Yes, please continue.
Yes, yes, sir. Dr. B.R. Ambedkar is known as architect of our constitution, and everyone knows he had a many faceted personality as an economist, as a politician, as a social reformer. He was well known and he is well known and he will be remembered for the centuries to come by all people of India, and he is also recognized as an intellectual throughout the world. And his greatness lies in coming from a very downtrodden caste, the then untouchable, so-called untouchables, of course, now using it is a derogatory word, but once upon a time in India, they were called untouchables, and he belonged to Meher, a community in the erstwhile Madhya Pradesh, in which people were, the higher caste people did not allow the people belonged to Mahas, even they did not permit to touch them. So when he went to school in those days, he had to sit separately in a corner on a mat or some some sheet, and he was not even permitted to study Sanskrit for some days. But of course, later on, he was permitted to study Sanskrit also. And He saw as a child the discrimination of the upper caste elders and upper caste boys towards the people of these untouchables. And we all know that India is a multi-caste society. Many castes exist even nowadays, and some are treated as lower caste and some are treated as upper caste. Such discrimination, of course, still exists in India. And what happened to Ambedkar, though he was poor, but he was very intellectual student, and he matriculated, and then he went to college also. Of course, his financial condition was very weak, but the Baroda king, uh, Shivaji Rao Gaikwad, he financed him and he sent him to USA to study in Columbia University. There, with zeal, interest, and hard work, he studied, and he also completed his doctorate. He completed his double doctorates. He got two PhDs there, and his thesis on one of the thesis is devaluation of rupee. And recently, we know our Prime Minister Narendra Modi took a step that is demonetization. But when Ambedkar was studying, he gave this concept of demonetization. Of course, in a different manner, not in the way that was executed by our Prime Minister. And he saw some merits in demonetization if it is done in a particular way. And what happened after his studies? He returned to India and practiced at bar for some time. And you all know then we were struggling against British because still India was under the rule of Britishers. And he joined the freedom movement along with all great leaders, and he participated very actively in the freedom movement. But at the same time, he saw discrimination that was existing in India itself. That is the casteism. The casteism was so prevalent that he thought not only the independence, but the primary activity that is to be implemented is that is abolition of casteism also. He strived very hard for it, and sometimes he differed with Gandhiji also, and that led to Pune Pact, which is famously known as Pune Pact. And he saw Hinduism as a curse on the Indian society because this casteism does not prevail in any other religions. And so, with his followers, he adopted Buddhism. He adopted Buddhism because Buddhism was one religion in his view, which imbibed all the good qualities of people, because it does not have caste or color or any other discrimination. Totally, he was disillusioned with the caste system, and somehow he tried very hard to uplift the downtrodden and weaker sections. So anyhow, after independence, he became our first law minister. And after independence, all the leaders, um, the wise leaders, they thought Ambedkar was the only man who could frame this constitution, who could who could write the constitution for Indian model, because the constitutions of other countries suit to their countries only. But as India is a multilingual, multi-religious, multi-caste society, a particular constitution is needed to fulfill the needs of these people, because if that is not followed, then the civil unrest, civil war may come even after independence. And many wise leaders like Mahatma Gandhi, Jawaharlal Nehru, and all other Rajendra Prasad, all other leaders entrusted the task of framing the constitution to Ambedkar. Of course, it was not an easy task, and a constituent assembly was formed, and Ambedkar was made the chairman of the drafting committee. So his task was to study all the constitutions of the world, and mostly of democracies like the constitutions of USA, UK. He studied in the British Museum most of the books regarding the constitutions or other uh, things which are available in the books. He was a voracious reader. Voracious reader means he studied all the books that were available at that time, and finally, with the help of his associates, he framed the constitution and he presented it to the Constituent Assembly on 26th November 1949. And finally, it came into existence. That is, it came into implementation from 26th January 1950. That is the story that we all know about his contribution to Constitution. And some of the other things that we can speak about Ambedkar was his simplicity. He was a very simple man. He always thought about the welfare of Dalits. It doesn't mean that he hated the upper caste. He hated the casteism, but not the people of upper caste. So he always, his cherished dream was to see the India without caste, without caste. So, and as a law minister, and he contributed a lot for the society, and he was the architect of many laws enacted in his time. Many laws were enacted, the fruits of which we are enjoying now. What happened even at the time of framing the constitution, he kept in mind the downtrodden conditions of people, and he provided reservations to the lower caste. So provision of these reservations contributed a lot for the welfare of the downtrodden, and they are now in a very comfortable position in the society. The provision of reservations provided a lot of amenities to the downtrodden people. So this was the contribution of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, and really everyone wonders how it happened in those days, because those days were very, very, very incongenious from grassroots level to the skies. That is really a great thing to listen. And as Indians, we must be proud of Dr. Ambedkar, because he is the model for all countries. And if you see the Pakistan, which was formed at the same time, the same year, and it has seen many upheavals, many military coups without a powerful democracy. Of course, sometimes people elected governments, but unlike that country, in India, for every 5 years, we are going for franchise, exercising our franchise and electing the governments that we wish. So I hope the future governments also will follow the ideals of Dr. Ambedkar. And whether it is true or not, recently some news have been coming about the alteration of basic structure of constitution. That is, instead of the democratic form of government, the presidential form of government should be formed. It is the thought of some constitutional specialists, but I don't subscribe to their ideas. If only we follow Dr. B.R. Ambedkar's theory, that is, every time we must go for this indirect elections through which we elect our prime minister and cabinet, and that should happen for every 5 years. May his tribe increase, may his wishes fulfill, and hoping best for the Indian society. What Dr. B.R. Ambedkar desired, that will happen. This is Sarath Babu, um, the alumni of uh, uh, some college, law college, Maner Law College of Kamau. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Yes, very thank you very much, Kolikonda Sharad Babu. He was the student of my class and is a very much regular to the class also. And is a very genius and used to participate in it. And just before that we had him. And in that occasion that he joined me, I'm very much thankful to him. And let me take my turn to tell myself. And when he said that he has clearly mentioned from the education to the till his struggle for the icon of becoming icon of the constitution. And in one way, in another way, we can say, yes, well, can mute it, so that I could not hear your voice. Mute and you close your video also. Yes, symbol of knowledge that Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, here I have shown on the screen that what his degrees are there, but what is not said over there that I would like to make it out that he is Columbia University, New York also he did it. So finally, I would like to make him that he is the LLD in the honors CASA in 1952, Columbia University, New York, for his achievement in the leadership and authoring the Constitution of India. And the DLIT honorary cause also, the 12-1-1953 from the Osmania University. I repeat, DLIT honoris causa 2-1 means 12-1, December 1, 1953, Usmania University, Hyderabad, for his achievements, leadership, and writing the Constitution of India. This is that which I want to share with you regarding his symbol of the icon of the education. Now let us come to the point here regarding the theme that which I made it here. Yes, I shown the themes also here after today's, I can say the virtual meeting. Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, consideration of uplift the downtrodden community, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, Movement on Human Rights and Constitution, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar struggled to get rid of the caste system. Dr. B.R. Ambedkar role in the Roundtable Conference. Dr. B.R. Ambedkar role in the Labor Welfare India. Dr. B.R. Ambedkar stressed on the education and social slavery. Dr. B.R. Ambedkar on his writing spirit in the form of books. Dr. B.R. Ambedkar on his philosophical thought in the sphere of religion. Dr. B.R. Ambedkar on his proposition which are universal truth. On that, I would like to deal at a length on this theme. That is D.R. Ambedkar and his propositions. There is nothing but the quotations which are universal truth and where one should have to follow it. and the last one, the B.R. Ambedkar on the revolution icon on the modern India. And these are the things which I selected over there in this virtual meet. But I would like to deal on the point which I just now I told you that on his proposition, that is the saying. Though let us come to the point here. The saying is concerned. First and foremost, we can say we are Indians. Firstly and lastly, and what B.R. Ambedkar said. Right? He said, I quote, "We are Indians. Firstly and lastly." I unquote. The B.R. Ambedkar said. This is the one of his proposition. And the next slide which I want to make it out is. Yes, here I am making the next slide. Yes, and the next slide goes in this way that be educated, be organized, and be agitated. I repeat, be educated, be organized, and be educated. That is also cited by B.R. Ambedkar and Dr. Baba Sahib Ambedkar. His another title which is given over there is next comes to the slide. That is fourth slide that would like to make it out. Yes, I quote, life should be great rather than long. I unquote. That is the Dr. B.R. Ambedkar said. I repeat, I quote, life should be great rather than long. I unquote that Dr. B.R. Ambedkar has said such a thing. So that is the fourth slide, if I am not mistaken. Then I will go to the next slide. That is the fifth one. Yeah, I am making out. Yes. And this slide says that, let me close here. Yes, religion must mainly be a matter of principle only. It cannot be a matter of rules. The moment it degenerates into rules, it ceases to be a religion. And as it kills responsibility, which is an essence of the true religion, religious act, that is what the B.R. Ambedkar said. So this is about the religion, what he said. Then next comes to the point, yes, that is the sixth one. Let me go to the this, yeah. Then come to the sixth is, yeah, I am opening it. Yes, regarding the sixth is, I want all the people to be Indians first and Indian last and nothing else but Indians. I repeat, what Dr. B.R. Ambedkar says, I quote, I want all people to be Indians first, Indian last, and the nothing else but Indians, and quote, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar said. This is the sixth slide that which I want to share with you. Then the seventh slide, which I want to open in, yes, the seventh slide, it is said, I quote, I like the religion that teaches liberty, equality, and fraternity. I unquote, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar said. This is the seventh slide. Now let us come to the eighth slide, which I want to make it out. Yes, this is the eighth slide. I quote, learn to live in this world with self-respect. I unquote, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. That is the eighth slide. Then I will switch over to the ninth slide. Yes, the ninth slide goes in this way. Yeah, the ninth quote, I quote, if I find the constitution being misused, I shall be the first to burn it. I unquote B.R. Ambedkar. It is clearly mentioned B.R. Ambedkar that a constitution should not be misused. Once it started misusing it, then he said he shall be the first one to the burn it. So that is the another slide. Then another tenth slide. I would like to make it out. The tenth slide goes in this way. I quote, a great man is yet different from an eminent one in that he is ready to be the servant of the society, I unquote, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. So I repeat, I quote and unquote, a great man is yet different from an eminent one in the in that he is ready to be the servant of the society, that B.R. Ambedkar said. Then let me go to the another slide where it can be said, this is that 11th slide, which I make it out. Yes, 11th slide says, I quote, men are mortal, so are ideas. An idea needs propagation as much as a plant needs a watering. Otherwise, both will wither and die. The end quote, B.R. Ambedkar. So this is the another slide I would like to move. That is the 12th slide. Yes, you could see the 12th slide now. I quote, law and order are the medicine of the body. Politics And when the body parts get sick, medicine must be administered and quote. I repeat, law and order are the medicine of the body politic, and when the body politic gets sick, medicine must be administered. That is Dr. B.R. Ambedkar said, which the importance of the law and that is very much important to rectify the body clinic. So that is the thing. And then next I go to the 12th slide, which I want to make it out. Yes, I quote, freedom and of mind is the real freedom. A person whose mind is not free, though he may not be in a chains, is a slave, not a free man, I unquote. That what he said, B.R. Ambedkar. That is the Baba Sahib Ambedkar. He said, next 14th slide, I would like to go with, I quote, cultivation of mind should be the ultimate aim of the human existence, I unquote, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. I repeat, cultivation of mind should be the ultimate aim of the human existence, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar said. Then I will go to the next slide, that is the 15th slide. A people and their religion must be judged by the social standards based on social ethics. No other standard would have any meaning of if religion is held to be necessary, good for the well-being of the people. That's why he said the casteism, he's against the casteism, and he said caste makes the everything progress hampered. So now let us come to the I quote, the sovereignty of the scriptures of all religions must be come to an end if you want to have a united, integrated modern India, and quote. And then that is the Baba Sahib Ambedkar said this quotation also. Then I will go to the next quotation, and which is 17th one. I quote, history shows that where the ethics and economics come in conflict, victory is always with the economics. Vested interests have never been known to have willingly divested themselves unless there was a sufficient force to complete them. I unquote. That's what the B.R. Ambedkar said. That is Dr. Baba Sahib and the Ambedkar said. Now let us go to the 18th slide, which I make it. I quote, if you believe in living a respectable life, I repeat, if you believe in living a respectable life, you believe in you believe in self-help, which is the best help. So that's the a self-help is the best help. That is the theory of the Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. That is cited, put in the one of the slide. Then goes to the 19th slide. I quote, "Our is a battle." I repeat, I quote, "Our is a battle, not for wealth, nor for power. Ours is a battle for freedom, for reclamation of human personality." I unquote Dr. Baba Sahib Ambedkar. I repeat, I quote, ours is a battle not for wealth nor for power. Ours is a battle for freedom, for reclamation of the human personality. That the Dr. Baba Sahib Ambedkar said. He wants the man should have to live freedom even if he live for one day also, rather than living 100 years as a slave. That is the contention of Baba Sahib and Ambedkar. Then the last side which I would like to make it out is sincerity is the sum of all the moral equality. I repeat, sincerity is the sum of all moral qualities. That what the Dr. B.R. Ambedkar said. So these are the few of these, what I said, the slides which I made it over there. And next we will come to the point regarding some other things because our Sharad Babu has clearly mentioned that regarding his from birth, how he changed it, and regarding his education, and what is the contribution for the constitution, he made it also there. Of course, he is also be against the Article 370. Yes, of course, later part it is scrapped from the Constitution. Yes, let us come to the Ambedkar described the nationality as a consciousness of kind, awareness of the existence of the tie of kinship, and this is how the people come close to each other and develop a sense of fraternity. So he has said that how the fraternity would come out there, then we can say develop the nationality. That is only the medicine we can make it out. That is the consciousness of kind and awareness of the existence of the tie-up of kinship that makes very close. That is the sense of the fraternity. Then whoever thinks of the Baba Sahib Bhimrao Ambedkar thought that his vision, his work of the social democracy come to mind. In his speech in the last meeting of the Constitutional Assembly, for instance, he had categorically said that the caste system and democracy cannot coexist. He clearly said in his meetings, in the debates in Constitutional Assembly, that the caste system and the democracy cannot coexist. That is why the Indian Constitution bore the discrimination on the basis of the caste and language that is clearly envisaged under some of the article of the constitution. Then afterwards, our Kanikonda Sharad Babu also cleared that his icon, he drafted the constitution, and the constitution by that, when it is implemented, when it is coming to the force, I need not to go through that one. Then Ambedkar also explained the vision about India is a wider perspective, giving importance to the land is the society and the best tradition of the nation building. And he stressed that the nation is not physical entity, it is the result of the continuous efforts, sacrifices, and patriotism. He described nationality as a consciousness of pride and awareness of the existence of the tie of kinship, and this is how the people come close to each other and develop the fraternity. And Ambedkar also pioneer is a thinking of on women education and job. He's a pioneer of the women education and job, and he is believed that the progress of the community ought to be measured. So how the progress of the community will be measured, he said clearly in his one of the quotation there, the women's education and jobs. He believed that the progress of the community ought to be measured by the degree of the progress which a woman has achieved. Suppose a nation's progress will be measured in the terms of the woman achievement, the woman's progress. He was probably the first scholar who tried to understand the position of women in the caste structure. This led him to the advocate of the rights and empowerment of women. And Ambedkar's dream of India was that equality should be established at all levels in the society. That is why they constantly emphasized on making the society classless. It is the intellectual poverty to associate him only with a particular class or caste, and he belonged to all. As we are into the totality of the Ambedkar thought, we will find that the seeds of the equality, unity, integrity, his philosophy of the Bahujana Hitaya. I repeat, Bahujana Hitaya, Bahujana Sukhaya. And its belief in equality and justice is relevant today and will remain so in the future. So that is the vision of the Baba Sahib Ambedkar, what he thought and what he would be. So these are the things which I have shared with this. And with this, I believe that if any other person would like to participate, he can participate. If not, then Sarad Babu, do you want to say anything? You can say. Otherwise, we can close our session by the national anthem. That is the Janaganamana.
I want to say one thing, sir.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Today, though it is the birth birthday celebration of Ambedkar, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, who has contributed and who has framed this constitution, and everywhere the zeal for these national festivals is somewhat diluting, sir. No one is taking these days seriously, and these days are really opportunities for rededicating ourselves to the ideals of those great leaders. But I don't know why the young India is forgetting leaders like Gandhiji, Ambedkar, Nehru, and all the great leaders who have fought for the independence, and even after independence also they worked hard for the welfare of the people of India. And with these words fulfilled with sorrow, uh, because the participants anywhere, even outside also, that enthusiasm is lacking among the youth, and even in adults also. The curiosity to know the things, the curiosity to talk about the great leaders is getting diluted, and and it is very unfortunate. And I hope even at least in the future the people will realize and rise to the occasion. And uh, the festivals of the national festivals of these birthdays, the people's birthdays, and others should be celebrated with great enthusiasm. That is my only wish, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yes, what you said is right over there. Because of the pandemic, also there is another factor we cannot gather physically. That's why that we are running the virtual show. There is the online classes, online meetings, webinars. But as you said, now the people are lacking the things. Now we have to awaken them by using such a platform, and especially the government, both the central and state government, as well as the local bodies and the NGOs, and each one, everyone should have to pay the role over there to see that you should have to come into the picture, then I'm sure that one day that everybody will participate it, and that is the reason that we will commemorate it, and the national days and these days are celebrated over there. With this, I would like to say the thanks to each and everybody that were patiently listening and participated in this webinar or virtual meeting. And it is me, Professor Muhammad Sahib Hussain, and the Professor of Law, and the voluntary online voluntary professor of law. Which this I would like to make an end of this session by playing the national anthem. Now we'll see the national anthem. Yes, yes. Now we will play. Yes.
जननायक जय हे भारत भाग्य पंजाब सिंध गुजरात द्राविड उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तब शुभ नामे जागे तब शुभाशिष मागे गाहे तब जय गाथा जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे
Yes, with
जय
this I
हिंद
would like to stop. Jai Hind, stop making the things. Yes.
थैंक यू सर थैंक यू वेरी मच सर
Yeah, with this that I would like to stop my recording, and thank you very much.